Welcome to QuantarTV.
Yes. Welcome to QuantarTV.
So Alison, can you give me a quick introduction to the Quantar alternative currency?
We can imagine a simple human situation where a group of people have personal skills and resources, but no finance to trade, so their vast human potential is left unfulfilled. In this situation, a Mrs. T in Idaho needs her lawns mowed but has no money. John can mow her lawns but Mrs. T has no money to pay him. John also wants a Japanese language lesson from a tutor in Tokyo, and the tutor wants a bag of vegetables from the local Tokyo market. The skills and resources are available, but the people are gridlocked due to a lack of money. However, Mrs. T, John, the Japanese tutor and the produce seller could join the Quantar alternative digital currency, with its international trading market, for an annual subscription fee of only $11. Each of these individual subscriptions creates a Quantar bank account with an initial credit of 500 Quantars, the 500 Quantar credit which repeats every time the annual subscription is renewed.
Could please continue?
In this Quantar financial system, the base Quantar hourly rate is measured as 10 Quantars per hour, so 500 Quantars is 50 base Quantar hours of trade. This is quite a bargain for only $11. These four people can't now trade their skills and resources for one another using Quantar currency, based upon an agreed hourly measure, to fulfill the human potential for exchange.
Is Quantar then a new form of money?
What is money? Is it gold or silver, or a basket of commodities, or paper debt money burdened with compound interest? The Quantar currency concept has a different perspective to these historical monetary forms, for Quantar suggests that money, through 4 million years of human hunter-gatherer existence, can be defined as I will go to the sea for a fish, if you go to the hills for fruits, and tonight we will feast. Money then is not a thing, but a measure of human life force, the tapestry of human body psyche moving through time, to create the unit of exchange and sharing.
Yes, I understand.
The Quantar also suggests that all monetary systems are simply ways of organizing this human life force into a financial structure. So if this is true, then why not use human life force itself as the intrinsic measure for money? This solution would avoid all the dilemmas of commodity currency, debt money, the borrowing of capital as debt from international bankers, and even the problem of the availability of revenue streams for our national governments. But how could we take the historical wanderings of the hunter-gatherers and turn their journeys into a scientific monetary measure, naturally understood by the human mind? When Western science needed a measure for distance, it chose the speed of light as it traveled through a vacuum, measured every second, to create a distance defined as almost 300 million units, or meters.
Science and money. I like the connection.
We can now measure the historical monetary unit of human life force, used for 4 million years of hunter-gatherer existence, when measured by the speed of light, as the distance an average human of 80 kilograms, walking at the normal speed of 5 kilometers per hour, will cover within a time of 1 hour, that is 5,000 meters. We can call this unit 10 Quantars, and it is a measure which we all intuitively understand, for even our modern workforce is still paid as an hour of time and work. This Quantar monetary unit then is a measure of human physiology, time, distance and the speed of light, and it is also a unit which can be converted into calories for a myriad of other measurements. The name Quantar also indicates that we are working with asset money, the light side of the yin and yang continuum, and that we are trading a sacred aspect of the cosmos, a sacred aspect which links thousands of years of human wisdom to the changing fields of modern consciousness.
Yes, I like these concepts.
So, in the Quantar concept, money is simply defined as the infinite life force of the human body psyche when it is shared through exchange and trade. So it is absurd to believe in the modern political statement, our nation has people with skills and national resources but we have no money, so we need to go to the private debt markets to raise loans as capital. The Quantar currency then has become a simple solution to the human monetary need for specialization of skills for exchange. It is also a solution which has been stable in value for 4 million years of human existence, and a monetary unit which is free from the four demons of debt, inflation, interest and taxation. The Quantar has become a monetary system which connects us into the great historical trails of human wisdom and shared learning.
Oh, and can you tell us about the nature of the Quantar trading market?
An international trading market for Quantar goods and services can now arise where an unskilled laborer may charge 10 Quantars for 1 hour of work, while a doctor may charge 100 Quantars as the doctor is bringing years of study and experience to the task. The prices for goods and services then, as in any monetary system, will vary according to personal skills, scarcity, the use of technology, social value, etc. Do you sense now that humanity and the Quantar currency concept form powerful connections? For our social groups bond through global threads of sharing, with each member possessing skills to offer and dreams to live. These social groups then form a vast, combustible matrix which is now missing only one tiny spark of evolution, or revolution, the spark of a financial tool so that our group members can trade with one another, a monetary tool which Aristotle spoke of when he said money is meant for trade, not profit. This tiny missing spark then could be the financial tool of the quanta.
Very good, but isn't the Quantar only a monetary concept designed for the garden fairies?
Here is a simple description of our current national monetary systems. In our modern era, our nations do not create their own money supplies but they borrow them into existence as debt instruments from the private marketplace, debts which are burdened with compound interest. This monetary system is based upon the original privately owned Bank of England, created in the year 1694, with its bank charter giving the bank the power to create money from nothing, to impose compound interest upon this money and to demand taxation from the people to pay this interest. It was a private banking license to steal the world with a dollar created from nothing. It was not a banking system, it was a crime scene. In this way, every dollar or pound or euro in our bank accounts exists as a debt instrument owed to a private banker, exists as monetary units which are evaporating with interest, inflation and taxation, so that the US dollar has lost 98% of its value in the last 100 years.
That is astonishing.
Do you know that Sir Josiah Stamp, the director of the Bank of England, said in the year 1927 that the modern banking system manufactures money out of nothing? The process is perhaps the most astonishing piece of sleight of hand that was ever invented. Bankers own the earth. Take it away from them but leave them the power to create money, and, with a stroke of a pen, they will create enough money to buy it back again. But if you want to continue to be the slaves of the bankers and pay the cost of your own slavery, then let bankers continue to create money and control credit.
Wow.
Do you also know that Mackenzie King, Canadian Prime Minister around the year 1940 said once a nation parts with the control of its currency and credit, it matters not who makes the nation's laws. Until the control of the issue of currency and credit is restored to government and recognized as its most sacred responsibility, all talk of the sovereignty of Parliament and of democracy is idle and futile.
But you're not talking about some form of communism, which surely now lies only in the dustbin of history.
No, we are only talking about the nature of the creation of the money supply. It is important to understand then that the Quantar is beyond the classical divide of communism and capitalism, which is the struggle for the ownership of the means of production, the ownership of the nation's businesses. Indeed, it is perfectly feasible for a publicly owned asset monetary system to coexist with a privately owned business structure. In fact, this is the only way in which the freedom of an authentic business community can truly thrive. The first unit of a nation's currency then is the most important unit which will ever be created, for its nature will color the nature of all monetary units which will follow.
I understand.
Do you also know the nature of compound interest? $1, bearing 6% compound interest, loan in the year 1500 from a debt banker, will create the debt in the year 2015 of nearly $23 trillion, with $10 trillion of debt arising within the last 10 years alone. However, $1, bearing 0% compound interest, loan in the year 1500, within an asset-based monetary system such as the Quantar, will create the debt in the year 2015 of only $1. So which of these two monetary systems would you prefer?
This is not a hard question.
Let me also explain to you that when the monetary supply is created as debt bearing 3% compound interest, then 40% of the retail prices of goods and services will be owed as debt to the bankers. When you add on your personal taxes and sales taxes, then fully 75% of your income is going to the bankers to service their debts. Fully 15 out of every 20 years of your life is owed as a debt to a banker. Does this echo as a truth within your financial life? Are you and your country always in debt, no matter how hard you work, or how many treasures of your nation you sell? Do you sometimes feel as though you have only exchanged the iron chains of a slave for the unseen chains of financial debt? Do you understand now why 1% of the world's population owns as much as the other 99% of the world combined? Do you understand now the ancient saying that he who controls the money supply, controls the world?
These are powerful concepts.
Do you know that in ancient Sumeria the interest streams were returned to the temples for the good of all? Do you know that in ancient Rome the debt was considered repaid when the interest accrued equaled the value of the original loan, while you will pay nearly $23 trillion upon a $1 loan and believe that it is the laws of money and that there is no other way? Are you smarter than an ancient Roman, or an ancient Sumerian? Do you know that your nation's money supply is created as debt in unlimited quantities, so it is essentially valueless, created with no fundamental definition for its nature and no fundamental measure, apart from a comparison with other debt-based fiat currencies? Do you know that your current money supply has been defined throughout history as an instrument of usury?
I did not know about these aspects of money.
So now, do you still want to ask whether the Quantar is a monetary concept designed only for the garden fairies? The Quantar which has been inflation-free for 4 million years. The Quantar which is grounded in the body energy reality of human experience. The Quantar which is free from the 4 demons of debt, inflation, taxation and interest. So which of these 2 debt and asset banking model do you want to use as a tool in your financial life? Do you want a banking model which has been born with a sword in its hand, with a craving for domination, cruelty, austerity and centralized power, or a monetary model which has been designed to maximize the pursuit of human happiness, awakening, abundance, integrity and wisdom?
How does the Quantar physically operate?
The Quantar uses cyclosed banking software designed by the Social Trade Organization, software which includes internet banking, mobile banking, point-of-sale card transactions and loan facilities. The review of Cyclosed features can be found at Cyclosed, including a demonstration of Cyclosed software.
What then are some of the Quantar conclusions?
The Quantar digital alternative currency is based upon the premise that to change the world we will need to change the nature of our monetary supply. For when we create our money supply as debt, then every transaction creates a shadow which eventually plunges humanity into the dark well of usury. However, if we create our money supply as an asset, then every transaction will create a financial ray of light to reveal the natural incandescence of humanity. The Quantar then is a higher octave of finance, an awakening, the revolution, for we have had no renaissance within the realms of our finance since the Middle Ages. Further, if only 10 people understand the nature of the Quantar monetary concept, and then transmit it to 10 further people, then within only 10 repetitions of this monetary chain the entire planet would be introduced to a monetary concept which could change our world into forms beyond our present imagination.
A higher octave, money and music. I had never thought of this.
Welcome then to the Quantar, the financial pathway to a light-based universe and a new monetary paradigm to change our world. Gather your friends together and start trading with the Quantar, a monetary system designed with integrity and grounded in the tapestries of 4 million years of human financial evolution. Please visit Quantar.co for further information and the subscription link to Quantar.
Thank you for watching QuantarTV.